There's just one place to get our lowest payment on the new 2024 Acura ZDX, $299 a month. It's the Season of Performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors and Custom Drywall can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray or Mike, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors and Custom Drywall, 305-345-3649 or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welt and Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welt and Rayom can help.
Raw is off the air, and this is the Squared Circle Digest. I am Sean Stanley. I'm your host, and of course, you can check out tomorrow, 7 p.m., the Squared Circle Digest, myself, Frankie Fresco, will come at you. And also, tonight at 7 p.m., we are live talking racing now. Myself, Spencer O'Neill. You may know him on the chat as No Doubt, but we put up the latest NASCAR talk on. But, of course, you are here to talk a little OTC. At least that's what Josh is saying. The ending saved for me the Raw. I thought it was an okay Raw, but nothing, nothing crazy. But even the cage match was good, but it just wasn't. It didn't feel like it was really doing anything to help build anything. The Bianca, we'll talk about that segment in a minute with Io Sky as well. But now he's the white. He's got two shirts. He's got the OTC for the only tribal chief or whatever, and then the YTC is your tribal chief. So they got two shirts. But anybody that watched it, they had a cage match, a very good cage match for WWE. Again, this was kind of weird too because again, cage matches usually end feuds. And this cage match was going to keep a feud going. So ultimately, I knew that there was going to be some kind of shenanigans. I didn't know how. There's been a lot of talk. It was going to be Roman, Seth, and CM Punk in a triple threat at WrestleMania. Still trying to see how that was going to all come together. Well, I guess we see how the recipe has been made, right? So Roman Reigns returns after, let's see, during the match, Seth Rollins kicks out of 3 go-to-sleeps, a stomp, a submission hold. Punk kicked out of, I believe, 2 stomps, a GTS, and then the super stomp was hit by Seth as he sat there waiting. And then you could see the rumblings in the back. You could hear the crowd going crazy. I didn't know who it was going to be. I kind of, you expect it's going to be Roman, but you really didn't know what the plan was. So all of a sudden you see these arms go around Seth Rollins and yank him out of the cage. And I was like, oh, that's Roman. And then Roman just gives him a Superman punch, a spear, puts a stomp on him. Then the security comes down to save him from the steps. He was going to put another stomp on him on the steps. And then at first I thought Roman was looking at the WrestleMania sign to look back down at Seth Rollins, kind of like, the match, making the match, like looking at one and looking back down at him. Then I realized, because I couldn't tell until they went back around, I didn't see Paul Heyman get in the cage. I don't know if anybody else did before that or whatever. I kind of thought it was an official or somebody working with CM Punk. Roman's kind of looking that way. Then he gets into the ring, and then he just grabs Punk, throws him against the cage, comes off with a spear, lays him out, and you can see Heyman just kind of in the background there. This is going to be very interesting to see where this is going to go. Because Heyman is, of course, Roman's wise man. But Punk still has the favor. And I don't know if the favor is going to be making it a triple threat match so that he can get at Roman after what happened tonight. After what happened tonight, now all 3 of them, not that they didn't already have some beef at each other, but Roman not only takes out Seth, but also takes out CM Punk. And technically, kind of, I guess you can say he cost CM Punk the match as well. So we'll see where they go, but definitely the recipe is there. Next week, don't forget, they are in Belgium. So Raw will start at 3 o'clock, which means at about 5:30, we'll have a Raw recap. And then right after, we will have the Talkin' Racing Now. So big, quick day turnaround next Monday. What if the favor is a turn on Roman from the wise man? That could be too. Or how about if he just straight up tells Paul that the favor he wants is Heyman in his corner for WrestleMania, not in the Tribal Chief's corner, but in his corner. But I like your thinking a little bit more, no doubt, on that, as far as the favor being the turn on Roman to help CM Punk win the match. I think that would be, and again, now you start rolling out of WrestleMania, him winning that, whoever the champion is, now you can get CM Punk into the title picture a lot quicker. Started the show, Jey Uso and Grayson Waller. It was an okay match. It just really was just one of those things to where again, they're trying to make the Jey Uso Gunther thing get to 40 more days, and I don't know how they're going to do it, man. I don't know how they're going to do it. Luckily, the next, I think, 3 weeks are all international, so that'll be a whole different audience for the yeeting and everything else, so we'll see where that goes. But in this one, Austin Theory ends up attacking Jay. He throws Waller over the top rope. It's a spear and splash on Theory, and then Gunther's there to lock in the sleeper hold. And then they go to the back, and it's the Alpha Academy. They're like, hey, we got your back. We got your back. We weren't there, but we'll get you back. We got your back. I mean, that is Jey Uso's backup. Otis, Tozawa, and Maxine. That's who our future champion has as his backup. CM Punk got screwed. Frankie Fresco, look at this guy. He's always mad. CM Punk could have walked through the door 3 times. He chose to stay. He chose to fight. He chose to lose. That's the way I look at it. I'm just kidding, Frankie. I'm kidding. Logan Paul comes out. And again, the whole thing was billed as AJ Styles says he was going to come out and call out Logan Paul at Madison Square Garden. And Logan Paul comes out first. It's one of those things to where, look, just say you were going to go face to face. Go face to face with Logan Paul and Edwin Garcia. He's belated birthday, my man. Limit City Live in the house. Appreciate you tuning in. So Logan Paul comes out there, talks a lot of talk. Nice guys finish last. John Cena's finally picking up on that. Then he says, tell The Rock, consider my soul for sale. And then Andrew Schultz was ringside, the comedian. And he goes up to him and he says, who are you here to see? And he said, I'm here to see the steel cage match. And then he's like, no, who else are you here to see? And he said, oh, yeah, I'm here to see, I forgot who else. Somebody else, he said at the time. And then he goes on and, thank you, Edwin Garcia. I appreciate you acknowledging me. At least somebody on the chat is smart enough. It's finally good to have a intelligent chat going on in there, and I acknowledge you, Edwin Garcia. And then Edwin Schultz finally says, nobody's here to see you, Logan Paul. This isn't Cleveland. This is New York City. And then he ragdolls the comedian over the thing, sets him up for a move. AJ Styles shows up, hits him with a couple moves, then does the phenomenal forearm, and it's setting up for, of course, WrestleMania. We will get Logan Paul and AJ Styles. The New Day LWO, it was a good tag team. And then all of a sudden, the American-made luchador interferes tonight, gets involved, takes out the LWO. New Day ends up getting the win. And it was a good match. It was a very good, entertaining tag team match. Cody Rhodes comes out because they're at MSG, the home of the WWE. And then he just pretty much comes out to say next week in Belgium, he will be in the same building with John Cena. So make sure you tune in. Don't forget, 3 p.m. start next week on Netflix. 3 p.m. start. Tonight's main event was a 10 for 10 for me. Free Chad Gable. They did do an interview with Chad Gable, and they're like, where's your mask? He's like, that's not me. And then all of a sudden they bring this guy out, and the guy's wearing the mask. And, it's going to be interesting to see how they roll this one out. It's very interesting. I was happy to see, the American-made luchador. And if you believe some online, supposedly, I haven't seen it from WWE Shop, they must have the mask being made. But buyer beware. You may want to wait to buy those masks until you know they're in stock. Just trust me on this one. No Doubt says, Jay going to fight a lineup of people in the locker room that don't believe in him. If you line up everybody that doesn't believe in him, I think he's fighting everybody. Everybody will fight him, except for Otis and Tozawa and Maxine. The Judgment Day, they showed Judgment Day on the way to the ring, and again, they threw the Natalya and Maxine talking in the background. It looks like there's going to be some kind of, thing there where Natalya, I think, is going to help her out and help her train. So we'll see. Yeah, Frank, that's kind of what I was alluding to there. Frankie's comment there. Raquel beats Bayley. And again, Lyra is the IC title. Now you're going to have Raquel take on Lyra. Not that Bayley would have been any better. I don't understand the whole, you have all these other ladies there that could fight with Lyra, and you pull Bayley, who's already been there, done that, and Raquel, who is the current women's tag team champion, when you have all these other women in the locker room and you don't use them. It just that's the one thing that bothers me a little bit about. They got a great women's division, to me, but they don't use them that well. Io Sky comes out to cut a promo with Michael Cole. She says she's heading to WrestleMania as champion. Bianca Belair comes out, says that, she meant no disrespect to Rhea Ripley. As soon as she says that, Rhea Ripley's music comes out. Rhea and Bianca kind of are arguing in the ring. They kind of both pie Io Sky's face, throw her down. Io Sky gets back up. Rhea pushes her away. Io Sky gets back up. Bianca pushes her away. And finally, Io had enough. She hauled off and smacked the shit out of both Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. And man, let me tell you, Io's not going to be disrespected. And I like the fact that they did that there so that now, again, we've got 6 weeks, almost 40 days to get to WrestleMania. But she's standing her ground. She's not going to be pushed around. And I like the fact that they gave Io Sky that little push there. Bianca caught a nice slash. Am I the only one that can't stand Valkyria? She's all right. She's very, what can I say? Her personality outside the ring doesn't match the ring work inside the ring. It's very good inside the ring. Not so much the personality doesn't resonate outside the ring when she, it's very bland to me. I don't know what is worse, the WWE and there is on the women's division or Sean asking us to acknowledge him. I never asked you to acknowledge me. I said Edwin Garcia is finally the most intelligent one on the chat because he did acknowledge me. So I wasn't asking you to acknowledge me. I was just telling you that you were dumb, Frankie. That's all I was trying to point out, which I thought you knew already. And most of the chat would know. I mean, having to hear you every Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. right here on the Squared Circle Digest and the Frankie Fresco YouTube channel, I thought they would know where you stand on the intelligence factor. Maybe I'm wrong. Edwin, see? That's all it takes right there. Genius tweet. Doesn't take a lot. Next week in Belgium, again, remember the next 3 weeks, Sean Ross Sapp put out a tweet earlier. It looks like it's going to be a 3 p.m. start next week, a 4 p.m. start the following Monday, and then a 3 p.m. start the following Monday as they're on the international tour right now. But next week, it looks like Cena and Cody will be in the same building, so we'll probably get a face-to-face. Kaiser will take on Penta. I believe that's a street fight. Jey Uso takes on Austin Theory. Dakota Kai takes on Ivy Nile. And Braun Breaker takes on Finn Balor for the IC title. That's your Raw card next week so far. Frankie Fresco says, "Sir, don't make me have to do a Hollywood ending tomorrow on you." Frankie Fresco, first off, I would put you through a table quicker than you would be able to get me through a table. So if anything, you're going to be the one that's going to be a bloody crimson mess, not me. And Josh, I acknowledge you too, sir. And the wifey. Frankie Fresco, I acknowledge you. Or even better yet, Frankie Fresco, we acknowledge you. There we go. We would pay to see that. Would you pay to see me and Frankie one-on-one? But see, I would put Frankie over. Yeah, I think I would. I'd be the guy. I'd be the guy that puts Frankie Fresco over. And then we had the cage match, man. And I like the way they started the cage match as well, going at each other. I always hate the ones where they kind of wait and then they finally battle. They didn't even barely get in the cage and they're already fighting. I love that stuff. I love that whenever you think again, it adds a little bit more realism. I'm not going to sit there and wait for you to walk in the cage so I can kick your ass. I'm coming right after you. Let's see. Frankie says, do you think Paul Heyman will turn on Roman? I like that what Noel Dowd said earlier about that being the favor. That would be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. I don't know which way they could go, but both ways are very interesting. Both ways, even if you just have him in your corner to where he can't help Roman for that night, it adds something to it. And then if the favor is he turns on him, that adds even that much more to it. Edwin said tonight's main event cage match absolutely delivered. Yeah, no, it did. It did. And tomorrow, myself and Frankie, I'm sure we'll talk the AEW Revolution pay-per-view. And they had a pretty damn good cage match on that one as well. That delivered as well. Let me see if we got anything else coming in here. Let's see what other comments we got coming in. And if you're on X, appreciate you. If you can, jump over to the Stanley Media House Network YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe. Trying to get to 1K. Actually, I want to get to 5K, 10K. But hey, can we talk about Braun? We could talk about Braun. But the only thing that I saw from Braun Breaker tonight was him showing up with Rhea Ripley. Edwin asks, do you think they'll ever develop Braun into something more than Goldberg? No. No, see, this is the thing, man. The problem when you make somebody go 177-0 is once they lose, what's their build now? What is their build? And that's the part where I'm glad, Braun's already had some losses and things like that. So that's not the thing there. I like his, the intensity's there. That you can always bring. The intensity of Goldberg, that's there. But I don't want to see. I know, Frankie. I just saw your thing there. He sent me the thing where Goldberg said he's back. Like, brother, just let's come do your one match and let's just get the hell out of here, Goldberg. Just go, and take Brock Lesnar with you. Go out into the sunsets. Let all the Frankie Fresco break in case of emergency guys leave so that I can be more happy. Braun versus Roman. Yeah, I could definitely love to see that one. Let's see. Edwin is a cup of what? Cup of what is this cup of hater on what? Hold on a minute. What am I? Me and Edwin are a cup of haters on what did I miss here? Oh, because we don't like Goldberg? I'm guessing that's what it is for. Look, bro, man. I just cannot get behind Goldberg. I can't, man. Can't. You kick the man in the head and into his career, man. That's it. Shouldn't be allowed back in the ring after that happened. Yeah, Goldberg's a legend. Yep. In Frankie Fresco's mind. I'm just kidding. I just can't. I cannot. I'm done with the Goldbergs. Done with the Lesnars. Let's what we got now, and let's go. Let's go. There's my acknowledgement to Goldberg. And Bret Hart is a diva. He's a diva. I'm not gonna lie there, but it don't mean you deserve to get kicked in the head and your career ended. Everyone says find the whole. See that's. I don't find it at all unlikable or boring. I think the intensity, look, man, I remember, back in, what what was it, 90s, late 90s. You know, it was like, even when Goldberg, I remember when he's on his run, it was like, you get paid, you don't even get paid by the hour. You know what I'm saying? Bobby Heenan used to say that line every time Goldberg wrestled. Goldberg doesn't get paid by the hour. Boom, and he runs through the guy, and it's over. And that's kind of like what Braun is. And Braun is funny because he has the abilities of his dad and his uncle all in one. He is, you know, a freak in that instance. I mean, he's got Scotty Steiner stuff. You know, you can see Scotty in him, and you can see Rick in him, and it's like, man, he's got the tools, man, to make some shit happen. And it's gonna be, you know, and he's been, you know, now he's the Intercontinental Champion again. So we'll see what happens where they go there. I wish they lean more on his ties with his dads and uncle. No, they won't do that 100% because, again, Braun Breaker. They can't you can't own the Steiner name because that's theirs. So, and you're right. The Ron story is he wants to do it on his own. Yeah, he knows what his dad and his uncle did for the industry and all that. But you know, he wants to do it. And also, I think Scott Steiner's son, depending on how everything goes with his football aspirations, might be joining Braun, depending on how he goes through the NFL draft and everything as a tight end. So we'll see if there's going to be more. Yeah, but see, all they got to do is make them bark. Dude, bark. Sell merchandise. That's all you got to do, man. Oh, good God, Josh. Come on, man. Really? Bring back Ryback? Ugh. I would honestly rather see Goldberg than Ryback. And then Frankie, yeah, if you look up Brock Lesnar and his daughter, yes. She looks exactly like Brock. Yes. Yeah. 120% Brock Lesnar, cannot deny that kid. All right, so that's been the Raw recap. I want to appreciate everybody that's been on. If you watched on Stanley Media _11, thank you very much. On Twitch, on the Stanley Media House Network Facebook page, or on the Stanley Media House Network YouTube channel. Don't forget, again, 7 p.m. tomorrow. The Squared Circle Digest, myself and Frankie Fresco. Don't look at all his bad stuff. He usually comes up with some good stuff on the show. Don't use that against the chat area there. Don't use that against Frankie Fresco, okay? This is just him trying to throw me off on a Monday. This is what he does. Look, Josh acknowledged me. And look, this guy, Josh just wants me to say his name again. Josh, I acknowledge you. No doubt on Frankie Fresco. Appreciate you, Dad. Appreciate you. Edwin, Limited Live, appreciate you as always. And I appreciate everybody that's been on here tonight. And also, as a note, programming note for Stanley Media House Network YouTube channel, don't forget every Monday, 7 p.m. now, we are talking NASCAR. Myself and Spencer O'Neill, better known as No Doubt. Every Monday, 7 p.m., we talk the racing weekend. This weekend, we will be talking, or actually next Monday, we'll talk about the race coming up in Vegas. Till tomorrow, 7 p.m., the Squared Circle Digest, myself and Frankie Fresco, in the words of the great Gordon Soley, so long from the sun, shine, state.